4 membri ta' SpaceX, ekwipaġġ numru 7, li qattaw 6 xhur abbord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju waslu lura fuq id-dinja qawwienu sħaħ il-ġimgħa l-oħra. Huma vjaġġaw abbord il-vettura spazjali SpaceX Dragon u niżlu fil-Golf tal-Messiku l-barra mill-kosta ta' Florida fl-Istati Uniti. Magħhom ġabu r-riżultati ta' diversi esperimenti xjentifiċi li għamlu waqt il-missjoni tagħhom abbord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju. Crew 7 seta' jirritorna fid-dinja wara li fl-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju telgħu 4 astronawti oħra magħrufa bħala Crew 8. Għal ftit jiem abbord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju kien hemm b'kollox 11 ruħ. Il-membri tal-ekwipaġġ numru 7 huma l-astronawta tan-NASA Jasmine Mobelli, l-astronawta tal-Aġenzija tal-Ġappun għall-Esplorazzjoni Aerospazjali JAXA Satoshi Furukawa, l-astronawta tal-Aġenzija Spazjali Ewropea ESA Andreas Mogensen u l-kosmonawta Russu ta' Roskosmos Konstantin Borisov. Qabel ivvjaġġaw lura lejn id-dinja saret ċerimonja bord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju li matul għaddew uffiċjalment il-missjoni li kellhom huma lil Crew 8.
First, I just want to say this has been an adventure of a lifetime. This is something I've dreamed about since I was a child, and I was afraid I would get up here and might be disappointed and it wouldn't live up to my expectations, but the international partnership we have up here and the space station are just incredible. It's an indication of what we can do when we work together.
Thank you, Jasmine. I'd like to express my appreciation to flight directors, flight controllers, Capcoms, fellow astronauts, engineers, researchers, and managers for all you did for us. Owing to you, we conducted various kinds of scientific experiments that benefit us on Earth and demonstrated technology in prep for human exploration to the moon and beyond. I am grateful for my crewmates' kindness and consideration. And time flies. It's nearly 6.5 months since Crew 7 arrived at the ISS, and seems like yesterday. And it's a bittersweet moment, but no problem. Our crewmates take over. And after return, I'd like to continue conveying the outcome of our mission.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bittersweet moment. We have been here for over 6 months, but the time has flown very fast, and it's time to get back, and it's a little bit sad. But I'm really happy that we have done all the work which we planned to do. The station is working just fine. All the experiments are going, and we know that we are taking over, but by a great team who are continuing into the end of Expedition 70 and into the beginning of Expedition 71. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for all the cooperation and all the support from all mission control centers, and see you soon on Earth.
This has been an adventure of a lifetime. We have achieved so many diverse things up here, from science to technology development to even a spacewalk, various visiting vehicles. It's been an incredible success, and I'm very grateful to everyone who has supported us along the way.
Abbord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju baqgħu 2 kosmonawti Russi, Oleg Kononenko u Nikolaj Kap, u l-oral oħra tan-NASA. Oleg Kononenko ħafidejh it-tmexxija tal-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju.
It's an honor to take over as a commander of the International Space Station. Thank to you for your leadership and the hard work of Expedition 70 crew. The station is in the best order, clean, organized.
L-4 membri tal-ekwipaġġ numru 8 huma 3 astronawti Amerikana u kosmonawta Russu. Huma ħallew id-dinja fil-bidu ta' Marzu abbord il-vettura spazjali mlaqma Endeavour li tellet fl-ispazju b'rocket miċ-ċentru spazjali Kennedy tan-NASA f'Cape Canaveral fi Florida. Il-wasla tagħhom fl-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju immarkat il-bidu ta' 8 missjoni ta' 6 xhur oħra fl-orbita tad-dinja iwettqu mal-250 esperiment xjentifiku.
Excellent. A big warm welcome to Crew 8 from all of us up here. Wouldn't you know it, after having made fun of Crew 8 for launching late, they arrive early to the space station and have us scrambling this morning. But it's absolutely fantastic to see their smiling faces. Welcome to
expecting over the next 6 months. I know that our flight's going to go by in a blink of an eye, and really anxious to start. Thanks for the very warm welcome from Crew 7.
Crew 8 u mamul minn bdott tan-Navy Amerikana Matthew Dominic ta' 42 sena u minn Michael Barat, tabib ta' 64 sena li kellu esperjenza fl-ispazju fil-passatu li f'din il-missjoni qed iservi bħala bdot. Magħhom hemm ukoll astronawta tan-NASA Janet Epps ta' 53 sena, inġinier aerospazjali u ex-uffiċjal tal-intelligenza teknika għas-CIA, u kozmonawta Russu Alexander Grebenkin ta' 41 sena, ex-inġinier tal-ajruplani militari. Crew 8 mistenni jibqa' bord l-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju sa tmiem Awwissu. L-Istazzjon Internazzjonali tal-Ispazju huwa twil daqs ground tal-futbol huwa l-akbar oġġett fl-ispazju li għamel il-bniedem. Jopera l-istazzjon konsorzju mmexxi mill-Istati Uniti u mir-Russja u li jinkludi l-Kanada, il-Ġappun u 11 il-pajjiż Ewropew. Minn pakkeġġjar ta' ikel sa' ġugarelli ta' tfal, studju ġdid jistma' minn tal-anqas 3000 kimika oħra huma preżenti fil-plastik minn kemm kien stmat sa ftit ilu. Filwaqt li l-Programm Ambjentali tan-Nazzjonijiet Magħquda flimkien ma' istituzzjonijiet oħra kienu identifikaw 13,000 kimika tal-plastik, rapport minn tim ta' xjentisti Ewropej minn Aġenziji Internazzjonali Ambjentali sab aktar minn 16,000 kimika li kwart minnhom huma ta' periklu għas-saħħa tal-bniedem u għall-ambjent.
We found evidence on more than 16,000 chemicals that are used or present in plastic materials. So that really demonstrates the chemical complexity, how many compounds, chemicals are in the plastics we're using on a daily basis. But more importantly, we were interested into which are the problematic chemicals in there, right? 16,000 is quite a lot, so we were interested in chemicals that are toxic to human health or toxic to the environment, that are super persistent, so that means they don't degrade, they stick around for a very long time. PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals, are maybe well-known examples. And we found evidence for more than 4,200 plastic chemicals being of concern with regards to their toxicity for human health and the environment or their persistence and other properties.
L-awtur prinċipali Martin Wagner li huwa tossikoloġiku ambjentali fl-Università Norveġiża tax-Xjenza u t-Teknoloġija sit jgħid li minn mijiet sa' eluf ta' kimiċi jinsabu fi prodott wieħed tal-plastik.
At the core of the problem is the chemical complexity of plastics, and that sounds a bit weird, I understand. But, for instance, when we look into how many chemicals we can find in normal plastic items, products that we're using on a daily basis, we usually find between hundreds, if not thousands of chemicals in an individual plastic product. And that's because these materials, they look really shiny and nice and colorful and simple, but chemically they're quite complex.
Ir-rapport iffinanzjat mill-Kunsill tar-Riċerka Norveġiż ġie ppubblikat fl-istess żmien meta n-negozjaturi f'isem il-Gvern qed jitħabtu biex ifasslu l-ewwel trattat fid-dinja li jindirizza t-tniġġiż mill-plastik fl-isfond tal-400 miljun tunnellata ta' skart tal-plastik li huwa stmat li jiġi ġenerat kull sena.
The deeper you get into the issue, the more you understand that it's a wicked problem and that in order to robustly solve plastic pollution, you actually have to look at the full life cycle of plastics and you have to address the chemicals issue because it's not just plastic pollution and the damage to the environment. When plastics get into the oceans, where they damage, flora and fauna, so to speak, but it's also the whole life cycle of plastics already. I mean, as Martin said, these are materials that have been in use for 60, 70 years. They power our economy. They enable a lot of successful business models, but they come with a high price tag.
Id-direttur maniġerjali tal-Forum Svizzeru tal-Pakkeġġjar tal-Ikel, Jane Munke, li wkoll koatriċi tar-rapport żiedet tajt li billi wieħed jindirizza l-iskart tal-plastik ma jkunx qed jagħmel biżżejjed biex jipproteġi lin-nies.
Whole, landscapes are being contaminated. Drinking water is being contaminated with these chemicals that are used in the manufacture of plastics, and causing a lot of health impacts, adverse health impacts. But then also the use of these materials. So if you, for example, think of food packaging, food contact materials, the point is that these chemicals can leach from the product into the food, so from packaging into food. And when that leaching happens, people ingest these chemicals with their food. And so we're finding hundreds, if not thousands, of plastic chemicals in people now. And some of them have been linked to adverse health outcomes.
Fost il-komplikazzjonijiet tas-saħħa li jistgħu qabdu l-plastics, hemm il-fertilità u mart tal-qalb, l-industrija tal-plastics qalet li kwalinkwe trattat għandu jimbotta l-użu mill-ġdid u r-riċiklaġġ tal-plastik. Iżda x-xjentisti enfasizzaw fuq il-ħtieġa għal trasparenza akbar dwar li ma' kimiċi qed jidħlu fil-plastics, inkluż fi prodotti riċiklati. Ir-rapport jgħid li kwart tal-kimiċi identifikati m'għandhomx informazzjoni bażika dwar l-identità kimika bażika tagħhom. 6% biss tal-kimiċi li jinsabu fil-plastics huma regolati internazzjonalment.
So producers don't really know which kind of chemicals they have in their product, and that comes from very complex value chains, if I may say. So the plastics economy is quite fragmented, so there's many little companies that produce bits and pieces, and these chemicals and those chemicals, they're all getting meshed together to make plastic products in the end. So I think the fragmentation of the whole plastic economy is part of the problem. There is good regulation in some countries and regions that enforces kind of providing information of which chemicals are used, or some of the chemicals that are used. But in many countries, such regulatory kind of pressure doesn't exist. So there's kind of no motivation to disclose what's in the plastics.
Iżda trattat internazzjonali jista' jindirizza dan in-nuqqas. In-negozjati dwar dan it-trattat se jkomplu x-xahar id-dieħel fil-Kanada bilan li t-trattat jiġi finalizzat sa Diċembru fil-Korea t'isfel.
Arkeologi qed jgħidu li skoprew l-eqdem pitturi tal-grotta fl-Amerika t'isfel. Iddatawhom għal 8200 sena ilu jinsabu fil-Patagonja fl-Arġentina. It-895 disin instabu minn arkeologi Arġentini u Ċileni fil-grotta Hwenul. Grotta kennija fil-blat ta' madwar 630 metru kwadru mal-1100 kilometru fil-biċ tal-kapitali Buenos Aires. L-awtriċi tar-riċerka, Dr. Guadalupe Romero Villanueva, qalet li l-iskoperta tindika li l-produzzjoni ta' din it-tip ta' arti tal-grotta bdiet fil-grotta Hwenul madwar 8000 sena ilu. Il-prattika partikolari ta' tpinġija li qed tidher fil-grotta kienet sostnuta għal perjodu ta' mill-inqas 3000 sena.
Pudimos fechar 4 motivos peiniformes de color negro que estaban hechos a base de carbón. Estas dataciones resultaron ser los fechados directos de pinturas rupestres más tempranos de Sudamérica e indican que la producción de arte rupestre comenzó en Cueva Hwenul hace aproximadamente 8000 años y que esta práctica de pintar este motivo particular se sostuvo durante un lapso de al menos 3000 años, lo que abarca alrededor de 130 generaciones humanas.
Hija żiedet li l-iskoperta tipprovdi evidenza tal-ħiliet artistiċi kif ukoll tat-trasmissjoni kulturali tas-soċjetajiet ta' kaċċaturi illi kienu jgħixu fir-reġjun bejn 7000 u 5000 sena ilu.
Por eso, y contextualizando estas fechas en su marco paleoclimático, que registra un pico de aridez y demográfico que indica un estancamiento poblacional, es que interpretamos que estas imágenes en particular formaron parte de una respuesta resiliente de los grupos cazadores-recolectores móviles que ocuparon esta cueva y estos ambientes desérticos del norte de Patagonia ante el desafío climático de un periodo de extrema aridez que ocurrió durante el Holoceno Medio.
Dr. Villanueva temmet tajt li minn barra r-reżiljenza soċjo-ekoloġika għal-klima dawn kienu jservu wkoll bħala mezz ta' komunikazzjoni bejn popolazzjonijiet imxerda u li ma tantx kienu jiġu f'kuntatt bejniethom.